right, hello everybody. Welcome to another video from AA Sports Cards. Yes, folks, I have put on the white gloves. I was gonna do one and glue some rhinestones onto it in tribute of Michael Jackson, but then, you know, I don't want to pay tribute to him, and I need to wear two. In honor of the really beautiful group of cards we have here that I want to show you, that is the latest consignment sent to us at AA Sports Cards, I've donned the white gloves. I'm going to go in order here. There is more to the consignment than just these, but I want to start with these. Usually I like to start with save the best for last. No, best first. And there's just no other way to go about it. We're going to start at the top. I just want to show the box. I did the pre-open. There's a remnant of the Canada Post thing. Want to protect people's identities, but always like to show these are real consignments sent to us, not things for my own collection or that I'm making up. Believe me, I'd be proud to have these in my collection. I don't collect anymore. All of the stuff that you see in our videos have been sent to us on consignment. I'm going to start strong, and I'm gonna stay strong. I just don't want to get glare here, and I really hope I'm not. So we have a 1912-13 C57 of Clint Benedict. Really the first goaltender to wear a goalie mask, even before Jacques Plante, well before Jacques Plante, obviously. There is the back. This has been graded by SGC. And it also comes with, and this is very, very important, you can see the PWCC sticker right there, and that's an eye appeal sticker that PWCC, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to put on cards. And what this means is this card has exceptional eye appeal. And along with that card also comes this, and PWCC has given this an A, and it's in the top 30% for the grade as far as eye appeal. So I'm assuming this card was purchased from our consignor by PWCC, and it's an honor that he chose AA Sports Cards to have him sell it for him now, that he's ready to put it back into the hobby, let somebody else enjoy it, and put the money towards other collecting interests of sports cards that he has. So again, an SGC 60, guess I should talk about the grade, which is the equivalent of a 5 with the PWCC top 30% A rating for eye appeal. I don't need to add any verbs or adjectives or anything beyond exclamation points if I could run them across the screen. What an awesome card. All right, if we're going in order, all right, I don't have a guide in front of me. I think maybe this card would be second or third in order. We'll see. But Dick Irvin, misspelled Dick Irwin here. This is Dick Irvin, whose son was a legendary broadcaster on Hockey Night in Canada. This Pollen's Candy card is extremely rare, as everybody knows. I believe this is from 1923. It might be from 1928. I think it's from 1923. As I said, I'm making these videos without a guide in front of me off the top of my head. There is the back of the card. Not graded, but it looks to be very, very nice for a pre-war card. There were very few cards of Dick Irvin, and I'm expecting spirited bidding on this. I love pre-war hockey. I'm blown away by the fact that any of it, whether it's C55, C57, Hamilton Chewing Gum, OPC Series ABCDE, Worldwide Gum, any of it survived. It's a miracle. All right, the main events continue. It's a quadruple main event here. 1923 V128 Pollens from the same set as the Dick Irvin. Okay, the tag team partner, George Hainsworth. In a PSA 2.5 very respectable for the grade, a clean card. I think for goaltending collectors, for goalie collectors, for me as well, because I used to be a goalie collector, I think it's really great when the cards show clear images of the equipment of the day, and this one certainly does. Again, when it comes to pre-war Hall of Famers, a PSA grade of 2.5 for a card that's 100 years old is very, very respectable. You will see all of these cards, ladies and gentlemen, coming up at auction under our on eBay. On eBay, you can find us. We are Vahoota AA Sports Cards. VAHOOTA, Vahoota AA Sports Cards. We're going to jump right into the early 50s, and I wish if I could do a sound effect, you would hear a gasp, because this is a monumental card, in my opinion. It's always difficult to find the second-year Maurice Richard card in nice shape. Very hard to find it centered. And if I'm not mistaken, the centering on this is absolutely beautiful. And we will put that in our item description. And my phone is ringing. I can see. I hope it's someone from across Canada who's phoning me to potentially consign some vintage sports cards. That would be great. There is the back of this card. When I opened the package and I saw this card, I was, it took me a second or two to really kind of focus just how nice this card is. Again, very, very condition sensitive. The 1952-53 Parkhurst #1 Rocket Richard, and it is especially condition sensitive because it's the #1 card in the set. And as folklore goes, which I believe to be true, kids used to hold their collection back in the 50s, 60s, what have you, in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say a kid was on his way to school and he was trying to complete the set and he had 80 out of the 105 cards. This card would have been on top. It would have taken the brunt of the wear. You know, the one sandwiched in the middle, not so much. The Richard, being the top card, always took the most wear and tear. So that's a beautiful card in an 8. Again, I'm so overwhelmed by the centering on this. And I know you see it, but like, come on. An 8. Near mint. All right. Next. I know. I'm wearing the white gloves. I took a picture of this card and sent it to a few guys that I know, because I just wanted, I didn't put any, and I didn't write anything in the text. I just sent a picture of the card, and I'm waiting for the responses back, because those who know, those who have tried, those currently doing it, this set is it's a lifelong challenge to complete in high grade, and most of the time this card is like almost all of the cards in the set, but a PSA 7 1955 Maurice Richard, Rocket Richard, which is just awesome. But a PSA 7 blows me away. Blows me away. Maybe I should put on a second pair of white gloves. And I know it's not an 8, and I know it's not a 9, but listen, I've never had this card in this grade before. This is the nicest example of this card I've ever had. It's a heavyweight, and again, it will be really interesting to see what the bidding activity is on this card. I expect it to be strong, because I believe there's a lot of people that want that card in that condition. We're coming to the last card in the standard stuff, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. And I'm gonna start this way, because much like the 1952 Richard, this card is almost impossible to find well centered. I don't even know if one exists. Maybe it does. This is not perfectly centered, but this card never is. So for this card, this is a beauty. It is a PSA 7 again. Very similar to the 1955 Richard I just showed. An extremely hard card to find in a 7. Very condition sensitive year. Card number 2 in arguably one of the most famous OPC hockey sets ever issued, their first post-war hockey set. This is an outstanding example. Card number 2 in a PSA 7 with really, really, really nice centering for the issue. So that is the final card in the group of 50s and 60s that you will see on eBay very shortly under our user ID Vahuda. Thank you to that consigner. Stellar stuff. The white glove treatment. All right, I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker. This comes from the same consigner. And this is very interesting stuff. It's more niche, but it's very, very cool, especially if you're a goalie collector. There's a lot of cool pieces here that you're going to see. Most of these cards are from Europe. In fact, all of them are. They're the stickers. And I believe in the 70s and 80s, stickers were issued in Europe for kids. They didn't get cards. Panini was the major distributor. And I remember in my younger days when I was a collector, kind of hearing about the Panini stuff, but never really seeing it, never really collecting it, but being aware of it. But I think if you grew up in Europe, again, you heard about OPC or Topps sports cards, that's awesome. And, you know, you didn't have access to them, but you had the stickers. And so these are, again, a combination of companies. But this is Ken Dryden from 1970-71, predating his OPC rookie card, playing for Team Canada in the famous mask. A year later, I believe, he would win the Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens, but this is a Ken Dryden pre-rookie card. You'll see on eBay very, very soon. This is interesting because I believe they've spelt the name wrong. This is Boris Mikhailov, but I'm pretty sure they misspelled his name. Again, one of the key players for the Soviet Union in 1972. Here is another stellar Vladislav Tretiak card. Show the back there. I believe this is a Panini card from 1972. One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. There is another Tretiak card, another Tretiak sticker, I'm sorry. So again, if you're a goalie collector and you like esoteric stuff, please watch for all of these to be sold on eBay under our user ID Vahuda AA Sports Cards very soon. Here's just a couple more. Again, there's a big collection of them, but I won't show everything. This is awesome. It's Ken Dryden, obviously. We'll have to do some research and see what set it's from because it's not graded, but it's an awesome card. There's another very cool Ken Dryden card here, PSA graded. What do we have here? An 8, near mint. That should do well. So again, just very interesting stuff. If you're a goalie collector, I'm trying to see if there's any more goalies here. No, these are kind of some of the key players from the Soviet Red Army team in 1972. Mostly graded by SGC. All that. It's a PSA graded card. There's one more stack here of NHL players that, you know, would go on to the NHL. We have Matt Sundin, we have Peter Forsberg, and you will see these up for auction along with all of this other stuff this coming week on eBay under our user ID Vahuda. Gotta say it over and over again, VAHOOTA. If you reside in Canada, if you're watching this in Saskatoon or Edmonton or Toronto or Vancouver, and you have vintage or high-end sports cards, don't forget we just got a record price for a 1912 The Cup Pavel Bure card. We got over 1,000, I think we got $1,200 US. a record price for that card. Details about that are in the last few videos in my archives. To learn more about my business, if you do not want to sell your cards yourself, again, collecting and selling are extremely different animals. If you have some, quality material, and the big auction houses, don't want to touch raw. If you've got, everybody wants PSA 8s and 9s. I get it. I understand it. We do all grades. As long as it's stuff like this, we'll do raw, we'll do VG, we'll do near mint. Go to my website, aasportscards.com, my phone number, my email, and pages and pages of testimonials from people all across Canada and the US who have consigned to us, have written about their experience dealing with us. Google AA Sports Cards. We have 146 5-star reviews. It's very hard to get people to leave Google reviews. I ask politely, repeatedly, and very few people do them. We have 146 5-star reviews if you want to read about us on Google. Thank you for watching, everybody. Awesome stuff. We will see you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.